Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin by Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. Looks like a little bit of help on the script by Tom Waltz, and pencils and inks by the Escorza brothers, with one page of art by Ben Bishop, and colors by Luis Antonio Delgado. So, The Last Ronin. Why did I pick this up? Two reasons. Number one, I was in the comic book store to pick up that Claremont issue. So this is the second printing variant cover, and I was kind of curious. I looked at the pack, and it is a bit pricey at $8.99, but this is a 40-page sort of graphic novel format, and I do like how it's perfect bound with the nice paper. And what I wanted to do was be like, well, I'm grabbing a Claremont book. Let's go grab a Eastman and Laird book and see how they're doing. How many years later, right? And this comic book is fantastic. But at the same time, it's very interesting. And I have to point this out, that The Last Ronin feels very much like Cyber Frog Blood Honey. And I'm not sure how much of The Last Ronin was influenced by Cyber Frog, because the premise of this book has a lot of parallels to it. And again, I'm not going to say it's a ripoff, because it's not. It's its own thing. But what's really cool is you get this opening. It's many years later. And we see a lone Ninja Turtle talking about how the world has definitely changed since the Turtles were back in New York in the 80s. And so layouts were done by Kevin Eastman, and they are fantastic. This feels like the Leonardo micro issue. It feels like the old Turtles, like very, very fast moving. The art illustrates so much and has so much storytelling in every panel. It's very great. But yeah, so this Ninja Turtle is infiltrating New York in the dystopic future that this book is based in. While he's walking along, you can see these other turtles that are kind of talking to him in the background, and he's talking back to him as he's going through this neo-New York sort of setting right here. Steals this lady's bike. Her last name is Jones. Interesting. And what you get is this essential, escape from New York type of a storyline, which is pretty fitting considering, the what's going on nowadays. But I can't get over like how amazing these layouts are. So obviously the art is a different artist, right? So this isn't going to look like Peter Eastman and Kevin Laird's art, but the layouts were done by Eastman, and you can tell this type of storytelling is this type of visual storytelling. Not many people have this skill anymore for these type of layouts, and you could tell that this was definitely done by someone who was coming from the 80s. But yeah, the action's great. What's really amazing about The Last Ronin is you're following this Ninja Turtle as he's infiltrating this taking over dystopic New York City, fighting robots, jumping all over the place. And you can see there's the Sai, there's like a Tonfas, and I think he has a nunchuck somewhere. There's the bow, there's the katana, and you're sitting here, and with the black bandana, you're like, who is this? You don't really know. And the way the dialogue is written, it's really not well thought. And what's really brilliant about the writing is the so-called turtles that are following him around. Their dialogue pieces make it kind of hard to figure out which one is which, right? Some pieces kind of make you think like, well, could that be Raphael? Maybe that's Michelangelo. Maybe that's Leonardo. Maybe that's Donatello. Brilliant writing right here. In addition to the phenomenal visual storytelling that's going on in this book. Very pretty. Oh my goodness. This is Ninja Turtles, man. It's freaking textbook how you decompress, right? This is how you decompress. Things are going on, the camera angles moving around, actions like going forward. And to be fair, like the plot point of this book does get kind of resolved, but every panel just launches you forward into the story. It's really pretty. You get this baddie right here. He's essentially a descendant of the Shredder. And then, yeah, this is an awesome background here. This is like some G.I. Joe shit. Oh, I just love it. I like this too. Just the old school, the turtles, clenching their teeth and stuff like that. It gives me like that vibe of those old comics, right? That they did back in the 80s. It's great. But anyway, yeah, the turtle breaks through. He kind of gets ambushed by some mousers. The mousers overcome him, and he kind of fails in his mission. Falls out of a building and almost dies. Kind of has to run away. And this scene right here is just amazing. So, like, look at this. He drops all of the weapons, and you've been like trying to figure out this entire time, who the heck is this? And then he lays all 4 bandanas down, and you just don't understand. And he's about to end himself, for dishonor and have an honorable life. And then he kind of faints, and at one point he has a flashback, and this is a different artist panel, by the way. He's about to wake up, and I will leave that for you to find out which turtle this is. But first off, it's not too hard to figure out where to read this or to pick this up. So, not a secret, but I'm not going to spoil the ending of The Last Ronin. I think it's part of what makes this book really worth it. But yeah, man, for $8.99, it is pricey off the comic book store, but absolutely worth it. Especially for me, I'm kind of a Turtles fan, so this was an absolute treat. But yeah, the idea of going back in time and getting revenge. The world is kind of messed up and everything. There's a lot of Cyberfrog parallels with The Last Ronin, and it is fascinating considering when Blood Honey came out. But it ends up being its own thing, but I can't help but compare it a little bit. It's kind of interesting in its own way. But yeah, no, if you are at the comic book store or you see this online, check it out. Very, very good. Highly recommend, especially if you're a Turtles fan. Just really good. Yeah, these guys, when they're making comics, man, they still know what they're doing. I think it would have been really interesting to just see Eastman and Laird actually draw it out. But the artist that comes in here does a really good job. So nothing against the artist here. He did a great job. Anyhow, that's the review. Let's get to some art. So some of you may not know this, but I've been posting a lot of my artwork on Minds. So if you go look for Unqualified Comics on Minds.com, you can find my channel there, and that's where I back up my YouTube videos. So if you want to watch YouTube videos, you can watch them there. And it's also where I do most of my Facebook/Twitter sort of posts, mainly because I hate those two sites. But Minds is actually really, really a good site, and I post up my artwork there. So I posted the pencils, the inks, and this, which is the colors, right? So very interesting right here. So I kind of wanted to take that last scene and kind of make almost like a cover scene for it, right? So these, by the way, so this was penciled really fast. I inked with a brush pen for the first time. Kind of some mixed results here and there. Some of it was okay, some of it not so much. And then the colors for this, obviously this is traditional colors, and every video since this, whenever I colored a piece of artwork, it was digital colors. But I recently got a hold, or I should say maybe almost inherited, a Copic set, a basic Copic set. Not the markers Copic, the pens, Copic pens, the multi-liners, which I use a little bit in here. These are actually the alcohol Copic markers, which are very well renowned. Japanese mangaka use them to color pages for manga. In Japan, you usually get like 1 or 2 colored pages in the beginning of a chapter, and then the rest of it is just regular black and white. It's actually very fascinating to see. But yeah, working with Copics is extremely interesting. And I will say this, it's extremely frustrating the first time you work with them, because they are they just have their own learning curve in terms of like using an actual like pen medium to color stuff with, right? Like up until this time, I basically do flats and then just basically draw in some rendered areas, and my coloring is really fast and basic when I'm working in Photoshop. So doing this with an actual alcohol marker medium is really interesting and also very difficult. Obviously mixed results right here, but I kind of dig it. I didn't mind the end results of it. So I'll see. Will I use traditional coloring in the future? I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just fun to be able to pencil, ink, and color in one sitting. Whereas like in my other stuff, I pencil and then I ink and then I have to scan it in and do a bunch of bullshit in Photoshop or Clip Studio or whatever the hell it is, right? But doing traditional medium is it's really interesting. I even want to like potentially mess around with like traditional lettering. Though that might be crazy because my handwriting sucks. But yeah, anyhow, that is the art. And that is the review. If you like this review, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, or my art, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.